How's it going, guys? So, on the last video, I did the first part of this, my hammer eye punch. Made out of an old ball peen, just in case somebody didn't watch that part. So, this is kind of what I got now. It's a little rough. It's almost got a cold shut at the end. So, it's going to be time to start grinding. Clean it up, get some of this rough stuff off here. Kind of glad I kept the eye straight. Doesn't seem like this is hurt at all. So when I go to reuse that old handle, I should be able to make it fit this, hopefully. But I am going to go ahead and start getting this cleaned up. And I'll point you guys at the grinder. I'm not going to have you guys watch the whole thing. Just explain the gist of what I'm doing, do a little bit of it, move on to the next part. But I am pretty happy the way this turned out so far. So hopefully I can keep moving that forward. If you didn't watch the first part, I almost smacked myself with this when it was red hot. Caught myself in the face a few times. So it's always worth going back and watching. But yep, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Alright, so we got hammer eye punch all set up in here in my vise. So first thing I'm going to address is this end that you smack with the hammer when you're driving this. So I'm going to go through and just kind of flatten these edges off and then flatten this end. So I'll do that real quick and then we'll flip around, do the other side. Yeah, there we go. That was the most important one. I just wanted to kind of clean it up. I'll clean it up more on the belt grinder, belt sander, whatever you want to call it. I'll be doing that. Just these little rounded pieces. So even though this is going to get the crap beat out of it, and it was made out of something old that I didn't really care about anymore, if I'm making it into something, I kind of want to make it look nice. So, yep. I'm going to go ahead and flip around and do the other side. So I went ahead and got this all flipped around. Now I got the part that goes into the hammerhead pointed out. But I was thinking about using this as kind of a guesstimate about how big this needs to be. And I realized, I should grab one of my new handles. So pretty much I need to make sure that whenever this drives into a piece of steel to make a hole, that's not bigger than this. It needs to be a little bit smaller That way I have room to work these down and make it actually fit into the hammerhead. So I'm going to bring this over, and I'm going to do one thing that I recommend nobody does and just guess. So I'm going to kind of set this up here. So it's definitely way too thick on this dimension here. And then if I set it up here, it's way too thick this way. So essentially what I'm going to do is just work it down, flip it over, work it down, then check it again this way, flip it over, do the same thing, and just kind of work it to where I need to, and making sure I get rid of that cold shut here at the end. So I'll get that started, and then I'll kind of skip through it for you. Yeah, that's essentially what I'm going to do to both sides. I don't know if you could really see on there, but there is a little bit of a dip here. And this is from where I'm hitting it with a hammer when I was forging it. So when I started working it, I kind of looked at that and went, well, I'll go down to get the hammer marks gone, because I got to make it smooth anyway. The smoother, the better it's going to work for me in the long run. So I think that's what I'm going to do to all four sides. I'm going to work until the hammer marks are gone, and then I'll start measuring it, and then I'll get back to you guys on that. And I'll bring you guys back as soon as I get these four sides at least clean, and then I'll go back through measuring it. Alright, so got her ground and cleaned up. By the way, just in case you didn't know, hot things are hot. So I ended up having to grind a little bit deeper than I thought I was going to on that cold shot at the end. So now this end's a little bit chunkier than I want. But that's alright. I planned on grinding a lot of this down anyway, and hot things are still hot. So I'm going to put this glove on, that way I quit burning myself. I don't know if you can see it on the camera right there, but if you watch a lot of other videos, you'll know what this is. But these are temper colors. Not important to me right now. I can get this hot and cold as long as I don't stress it too much. But when I go to heat treat this, I'm going to not want to hurt it like that. But that's what it looks like so far. Got four edges, end. This end's all clean. Now I'm going to kind of start seeing how I need to measure this, because essentially this is too big right here. So I'm going to have to definitely work this down probably quarter inch, so an eighth on each side. And then I'm just going to keep that taper. So if I work at an eighth here, I'm just going to try to taper it down until this becomes like a chisel point. And then, yep, I'm just going to have to sit here and turn and flip this until I figure out what I'm actually doing. A lot of the videos I watched, they kind of forged it right to where it needed to be. But it's like, there's so many people that just, know what they're doing. I just don't want to get to that thinner part and snap this off or get it so thin that I burn it in the forge. I kind of want this to work the first time. So, yep, I'll go ahead and keep grinding on this. If I come up with anything I should stop and let you guys know, I will. But essentially, it's just going to be grinding it, getting the shape I want. And when it comes to making a hammer eye punch, hammer eye drifts, it's going to come down to how you want your handle to fit, how big of a handle you want, stuff like that. That hammer set that I bought, I'll go ahead and grab them to show you. Yeah, this one, it's a rectangle. This one that wasn't from that set is like an oval. Same set, bigger oval, just not as long. It comes down to what size hammer you're doing, how you want to do it, and what kind of shape you want to get. Depends on how this is gonna work. I'm going off just an image in my head, something I've seen other people do, but I'm also measuring it for the wood that I got for my handles. You want to keep that in mind. If you're going to take a big old block of wood and cut it down to whatever you want, then the sky's the limit. You make this however big you want the handle. You know, you want a 2x4 size handle, I guess you need a 2x4 size that. But as for me, I went and looked at what another blacksmith, they sell hammer starter kits. So a hammerhead with just the hole punched, or however you want to order it from. I just ordered his handles. These were like $4. They're hardwood, ready to be shaved down and put in a handle. So I'm gonna try to make this fit what I think this should be shaped like, and hopefully it'll work. If I get this all done and I think it'll work, and then I go to make a hammer, which I'll do a video on, and it doesn't work, you guys will see that. So, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start grinding the crap out of that. If I end up moving to the belt sander to finish, make it look pretty, I'll move you guys over there if I come up with anything else. So here I am at the belt sander. Sadly, I was hoping to get to the part where I was making it pretty and stuff when I came to the belt sander, but I only have one grinding wheel. And I got some of it. I got it flat now, all the way up to where this transition's at. So I mean, it's not horrible. I'm just gonna kind of round it on all the corners and just kind of let it eat, flatten this out. This is just like a cheapie from Harbor Freight. I mean, it turns on and it goes. I had to get rid of all the safety stuff because it's so bad in the way. You had to tear so much stuff apart just to get to the damn belt and swap that out. So I got rid of all of it. But I ordered these ceramic, they're 36 grit belts. Haven't used it yet, so I guess now will be a good time. But I'm gonna kind of work it a little bit and show you guys kind of what I'm doing. If this thing works really well and works really fast, then I'll show you guys all of it. If not, then some, and then I'll cut some of it out. So there's a little bit of it. This thing is actually eating away pretty good. I don't know if you can tell right there, but these were kind of even when I started. These little dips here. So I mean, it's eating away pretty good. It's rounding it decent. So it'll just be me getting used to it. I'm getting a little bit more down here. Yep, I'll get, when I get a little bit closer to being done with this, then I'll change the sandpaper and we'll polish it up. And gotta love polishing a turd. Hopefully it'll look decent. So, all right. So I did a little bit more grinding on here, smooth out this transition right here. So kind of got this coming down at a slope more. I don't think it's quite what a lot of other people do. It's not quite that shape yet, but I think this will do it. Like I think I can make this one work. I'm gonna thin this out a little bit more. Then I'm gonna start making this into like a small V shape by taking this edge right here off, that edge right there, kind of make it into a small point, tapered. Then put a chisel grind on it, and then I'll start polishing. I'll bring you guys back for the polishing part and let you guys see how it's going. Alright guys, so I did an oops. This is not the way I had planned to do this. It was supposed to be a very sharp angle. And then I was going to grind like a chisel end. But as I was sitting here just doing my thing, and then I looked at it, and I already went too far. So I'm like, I plan on doing the easy way when I do my hammers. Pretty much where this eye's at. When you know how big this drift and hammer eye punch and all that stuff's going to be, when you know the size of the hammer eye punch, you drill a hole at the outside diameter of the punch, and it helps you drive through. I didn't plan on doing that. I planned on using a tip style punch. And then I was like, well, if I just drill a hole down this very center of my hammer, just big enough to get this bit started, this will pretty much do what I need it to. It'll force the eye open. And I've got everything down pretty much where it's just a little bit smaller than the in all dimensions. So I think I'm going to take a gamble on it. I'm going to start polishing this up. I switched my belt out already. But I'm going to polish this up a little bit. And then I'm going to try just to heat treat the tip. I'll put it in the vise and put my little propane torch on it. I just get the tip really hot and then quench just the tip and some oil. I don't know. This thing's going to get really hot. That tip's going to lose temper as soon as I touch it, to the really hot steel. So I don't know. I might not even try to do that. I think I'm more worried about, I'd rather this as soft as possible. That way when I'm hitting it with a hammer, it doesn't crack or break, or, if it deforms and I get a hammer or two out of it, then I'll use some actual steel that I know exactly what it's made of, so I can heat treat it properly. But as for this, it seems to be fighting the belts pretty good, so it seems like it's pretty hard already, just whatever natural elements are in the steel. So I think I'm just gonna, I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and harden the tip. I think I'm just gonna polish it up and show you guys at the end what it looks like. And then when I make a hammer, we'll see if I wasted a bunch of time or. Oh, it still looks good. I think it looks good for not being what it used to be anymore. And and I can still use this side as a hammer if I absolutely have to. I mean, I don't think I'll need to, but I think I might be able to squeeze a hammer eye out of this. I don't think it's going to be the easiest. I would suggest going with one of the styles that's known or buy one, but that's not what I'd want to do. Buying one of these can be anywhere from $50 to $100. I had this. It's cost me $3 in coal and maybe one sander belt, and that's about it. So, alright, I'll bring you guys back when this is all polished up. Alright guys, I made the thing. So, here it is. Nice and somewhat shiny. I didn't bring it up to like a mirror polish or anything crazy like that, but I definitely wanted it to be smooth. That 36 grit I was using left really raggedy edges on there, but overall, like, pretty happy with it. This handle actually is going to work out great. I just need to thin it out just a little bit more right here. As soon as that's thinned out, I can make sure it drives all the way through. Then I can make the wedge and all that other fun stuff. But this is made to make a hole for that to go into the handle. So it seems to be, I'll do it this way so you guys can see. I can see it, but it's smaller in all dimensions from this. So that means when I make the hole, I can use this to shave it down like I did this handle to make that. This eye is going to be huge compared to the one that's in this ball peen or hammer eye punch. Build it stronger than you think you might need to, so you don't have to rebuild it. So this part's done. Now it's time to make the drift. So next video after this one is going to be me starting to make the drift. So this will be for making the hole in the steel, roughly the right dimensions, so it can be ready for drifting. And happy with how well this turned out. For now, when I go to use it and it doesn't work, then I'll be upset. But, I mean, like I said before, I was pretty sure I'm doing a couple things a little bit different than everybody else. Partly because I goofed when I was making this part. Just little things like looking at it going, well, this should work. And if you've seen my first video, you know how much I know better. Doesn't work. But it's not going to stop me from trying to know a little bit better or do it a little bit simpler. Like, I feel like this is something that's easy enough for just about anybody to make. You know, if you do, like I said, and buy a set of hammers and you just have that old ball peen you've been playing with and learning how to swing the hammer and whatnot, you can make one of these and then work on making your own hammer. And then that old ball peen just isn't a waste of time or space anymore. It's actually a useful tool while you're blacksmithing. Going to do this off camera. Sand this down the rest of the way. Get this handle nice and cleaned up. Maybe thin it a little bit because a lot of these handles are just a little bit too big. But I'm going to do this off camera. If everything goes well, I make the drift, then I will make the homemade hand from just a block of wood. I will make a video when I get that far. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if, hey, this looks neat, or hey, you did this the hard way, or hey, I think I could do that. I'm going to give it a try, or, almost hurt yourself some more. It's funny. That was the other video. Quite amusing. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see. I did have somebody comment about making swords. That is a long distance off, but not out of the picture. That is way too small for anything over probably, I might be able to make a 10-inch chef knife. If I really tried, I might be able to make, a 12-inch blade or something like that. But not yet. It's coming. Keep having successes like this. It'll be even sooner. But thank you. If you want to subscribe, I did have somebody ask me about videos and stuff, and I told them, I was like, you can just subscribe, hit the bell. As soon as I post it, you'll get it. So at least that's the way it sounds like it works. Works for when I do it to other YouTubers. So, yep. Thanks a lot. There she is.